This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska. The NSAA Boys State Basketball Championships on News Channel Nebraska are presented by Currency, Allo, Liberty First Credit Union, Woodhouse Auto, and by Midwest Bank.
Good morning and welcome to the Bob Devaney Sports Center for this special presentation of high school sports on News Channel Nebraska. I'm Michael Shifley. Lou Siefker is with me. Eric McKay is on the other side of the court. We're getting ready for the boys state basketball tournament. Lou, girls were fun. Now it's time for the boys.
It's time for the boys. This is going to be a fun one, Michael. This is 1 versus 8, but I think there's going to be a lot of upsets in the boys tournament. You got Amherst and Bridgeport. Amherst is the defending champ. What's their encore? Well, they're 23-2. They're the number 1 seed. They're expecting to win again. Bridgeport comes from a long way away. They're the 8 seed. Nobody expects them to win. We'll see what sort of attitude they play with here today.
This is the Class C2 tournament. We have all 4 quarterfinals for Class C2. Then a couple more games at the end of the day. So 6 games here at the Bob on NCN. We hope you stay with us for all of them. Talking more about these 2 teams, the Amherst Broncos, 6 players last year that were in the rotation. 3 of them are back, and they've met business all year long. They were tested by Meade in their district final, but we're going to see a lot of Tage Hadwiger and a lot of Austin Adelung here today.
Yeah, it's a good basketball team. They did lose some players, but they got some key players back. I like the way this team plays, a good shooting team and an aggressive team, really all over the floor. They're good, and they're the number 1 seed for a reason.
Bridgeport, they come from out west, and they don't care what seed they are. They're here probably a year ahead of schedule. Primarily freshmen and sophomore. They don't even know how big of a stage this is.
Well, and that could play into their favor, you know. I mean, sometimes the folly of youth is a good thing, and that might be a good thing here today because you're playing against the team, the defending champ, and again, you've got nothing to lose. Show up and play hard and see what happens. Maybe you pull the upset. We've seen it happen before.
Amherst made it all the way to the state championship game a year ago, falling to Freeman in that contest. Now they're starting their journey at state again. We'll talk about key players and introduce the 3rd member of our team when we return to the Bob Devaney Sports Center.
A new year, a fresh start, a resolution to grow more, gain more, give more. The process is the same: plant, grow, harvest. But the way you do it is always evolving. And so are we, Aurora Cooperative. Grow, gain, give. Aurora and you.
To sum up the past 20 years in one word, exceptional. It's one of our core values. But our people have been truly exceptional. Our customer support has been exceptional. In 20 years, where will Allo be? When we started, we were just a business fiber company. Then the demand came from residential. Now the products of both business and residential just continue to expand. We've got to start with customers' needs and always work backwards. The customers will tell us, and our teammates will take us there.
Talking key players ahead of this Class C2 quarterfinal. The top seed Amherst. It all begins with their 6'4" senior, Tage Hadwiger.
Yeah, Hadwiger, he's an excellent player. He can make 3-point shots. He also plays at the rim, a great athlete. He took over that district final against Meade, had 30 points in that one. He's the team's the school's all-time leading rebounder, and he's closing in on the scoring lead for that team. He does everything, and it kind of begins and ends with Hadwiger for Amherst.
For Bridgeport, we mentioned they're a young team, but they do have a senior in the starting lineup in Colby Lucetto.
Yeah, Lucetto, he's one of the best. Matter of fact, I believe he's the all-time leading 3-point shooter for Bridgeport. 3-point shooting, I think, in this game is going to be big. Lucetto's got to be good. They've got to be able to make perimeter shots, I think, to beat Amherst.
To continue to learn more about this game, we say good morning to the other member of our crew, Eric McKay.
All right, thank you, Michael. You know, you got to get up pretty early in the morning to win a game at the state tournament. Literally, in this case. This is an early tip-off. Obviously, that's without taking into factor a team coming from the mountain time zone like Bridgeport. Right now, if class was in session, we would still be at least 10 minutes away from the first bell ringing and Bridgeport High School. But both coaches kind of downplaying the early start time. Obviously, energy not a problem for Bridgeport. Their head coach, Sean Sterkel, spent warm-up in the layup line, standing kind of right where I am, grabbing rebounds, getting balls passed to players, making sure their energy was up. Both coaches telling me they've kind of taken contingency plans, worked in some early practices to try to get used to this early start time. Look, they're kids. They only need like 2 hours of sleep anyway, right? Our never bleary-eyed, always caffeinated announce crew will be back with starting lineups and all the action coming up. You're watching the Class C2 quarterfinals on News Channel Nebraska.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
The pregame show is sponsored by Custom Sports. Look great for every game with custom team or business apparel from Custom Sports. NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. By Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
We're back here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Michael Shively, Lou Siefker getting ready for tip-off. It's the top seed Amherst and the 8th seed Bridgeport. Let's take a deeper look at these teams. Your school spotlight brought to you by Currency. Does your business need financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? All you need is Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com. Amherst, a Buffalo County community just to the north of Kearney. Drive to the northwest about 15-20 minutes. You'll get there. Runners-up a season ago. They've now made it to state 3 straight seasons. Bridgeport, they had to make heck of a drive here down Interstate 80 to get to Lincoln, a mountain time zone school to the north of Sydney. Bulldogs, champs in 1990. Last made it to state in 2021. Your school spotlight is brought to you by Currency. This is the first of 4 Class C2 quarterfinal games. We'll have all of them for you here on News Channel Nebraska. We'll step aside for the national anthem. When we return, we'll give you the starting lineups and have the tip-off of the first game of the 2024 NSAA Boys State Basketball Championships.
I love our Nebraska public schools. As a mom of high school students, I see the value public schools bring to our communities every day. It's where families come together to cheer for our teams, engage with our teachers, and build long-lasting, trusted relationships in our communities. It's where our kids get the skills and opportunities they need to succeed. I don't know if it's that way in other states, but here in Nebraska, public schools are the heart of our communities.
Hey there, sports fans. Looking for a winning play to make your game day complete? Look no further than Speedy Mart, your family-owned neighborhood convenience store. Score big with the wide range of snacks, drinks, and fuel for the road that will keep the whole crew cheering. And here's the kicker. Our friendly atmosphere and convenient location make every visit a slam dunk. So rally the family and head to Speedy Mart for the ultimate game day experience.
Life is a wild ride. It's important to have a trusted partner along the way. Liberty First Credit Union exists to provide its members with affordable financial services. Whether it is a large purchase, a new car or home remodel, overcoming obstacles, or chasing your dreams, financing life is what we do best. Give us a call or visit libertyfirstcu.com.
In every community, there are unsung heroes. They're the ones who make a real difference every single day. News Channel Nebraska and Medica want to thank our community heroes, and now it's your chance to shine a spotlight on them. Nominate your local hero and let their story inspire us all. Winners get to donate $1,000 to a nonprofit of their choice, with over $5,000 donated to date. Together, we can celebrate those who make our communities brighter.
At Zollner Ford, come and see our great selection of new Ford vehicles. Whether you're looking to buy new or you need a car serviced, it's our pleasure to assist you. Our online website makes shopping even easier. Browse our massive inventory of vehicles or schedule your next maintenance appointment. We even offer drop-off and pickup services. Stop by today or visit us online at zollnerofbeatrice.com.
We're ready for starting lineups here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Michael Shively, Lou Siefker, Eric McKay, your broadcasters. Your starting lineups are brought to you by Unity Eye Centers, your provider of choice in Norfolk, Columbus, Grand Island, Pierce, and St. Paul. Bridgeport turns to Colby Lucetto, a 6-foot senior. Hayes Watts, a 5'6" freshman. Gage 9, a 5'9" sophomore. Nicholas Weibert, a 5'8" sophomore. Landon Dean, a 6'3" freshman. 4 players, 9th graders or 10th graders in the starting lineup for Bridgeport.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. That's a young basketball team and certainly, not used to this environment. How they play early in this game, I think, will go a long way to deciding how this game ends.
A more seasoned Amherst starting lineup, led by 6th-year head coach Eric Rippon. Austin Adelung is a 5'11" senior. He is the glasses-clad number 1 getting announced right now. Braylon Russell is a 5'11" junior. Kyler Jones, a 5'11" junior. Both of those players stepping up into much bigger roles this season. Carter Riesland, a 6'4" senior. And Tage Hadwiger, our key player, averaging 21 points and 8 boards per game, rounds out the starting lineup for Amherst. 3 straight trips to state for the Broncos. Gotten slightly better each time in their results. Last year culminating with a defeat in the championship game at the hands of the Freeman Falcons. Yeah, they're hoping to take it all the way this year.
Yeah, they sure might. They're kind of poised to do that, to make a run. I gave them the state championship in our open. They had such a magical year last year. It felt like they won it, but that Freeman team they beat them was really, really good. But what a year they had last year with the emotional, the loss of a teammate to a serious disease, and then really focused on that got them all the way to the championship game. I think they're still kind of using that as motivation for this year with these seniors to get that state championship.
No doubt about it. Talon Trampy would have been a senior last year, part of that special group, but passed away earlier in his high school career and still in the thoughts of many in the Amherst community. Bridgeport trying to play spoiler here this morning. Like Eric said, 8 o'clock Mountain Time. We're so excited we get going a little early there. Tage Hadwiger able to poke that to Carter Riesland, and the top seed has the basketball to begin. Bridgeport known for pressure defense. They'll play man-to-man in the half court. Some zone full court pressure, some man full court pressure. Everything they do is pressure.
Yeah, not the biggest team in the world. They're going to have to use defense and I think three-point shooting to stay in this game.
Open look from the corner is missed by Braylon Russell. Bulldogs trying to get on the board first. Watch out for number 1 in black and gold. That is Colby Lucetto, the top scorer and lone senior in the starting lineup. Amherst is a man-to-man team primarily. Could mix in a little bit of zone. and you won't see many substitutions for the Broncos. Adelung for three, and he rattles it through. A good sign for the Broncos to begin.
Yeah, the Hayes Watts that came over there and contested that pretty well. He's still off balance, three-pointer, still made that one count.
Adelung, that was his 216th attempt from three-point range on the season. Bridgeport, they'll launch as well. That one misses by Gage 9, and a push on the rebound called against the Bulldogs.
It's kind of an interesting dichotomy with the youth of the Bridgeport team. We always talk about there's no substitute for experience, but sometimes what you don't know is what you don't know, and that can be a good thing. You just play, with that idea that anything can happen, and sometimes young players have that belief. So we'll see if that helps Bridgeport here this morning.
And a collision near midcourt will stop play, and a foul on Bridgeport. So one each on Landon Dean, Hayes Watts. We saw Eric Rippon on your screen just a moment ago, head coach for Amherst. His voice sounds a little bit like mine this morning. He has
scratchy
coach voice. I have just cold voice. We're going to fight through it.
That's from yelling at me before pregame.
Oh, you should have heard me. Inside to Hadwiger, draws a lot of attention, dishes the basketball off, and it's finished by fellow senior Carter Riesland.
Riesland, good job just keeping his feet there in the post.
Fast the other direction. That's what Bridgeport likes to do. They go fast, but Lucetto can't finish. Another chance here for Bridgeport. (21-5) on the season, this young Bridgeport group. There's a freshman going to work in the paint, 6'3", Landon Dean.
Good work in the block there by Dean. Good footwork, gets the shot to bank home. Bridgeport's just got to make shots and play loose here in this ballgame.
Hadwiger trying to create, can't shake loose from Nick Weibert. Couldn't work it around to Adelung. Strong defense here by the Bulldogs. Pick and roll, Riesland to the cup, and he's fouled. Two shots coming for the 6'4" senior.
The Broncos doing a good job handling that pressure, the half-court pressure that Bridgeport has. That's just a good pass and cut. Get the ball in the paint and make something happen.
Well, no doubt that Bridgeport is going to be aggressive today. That's what they do to feed their offense, run their defense, but the aggression has backfired on freshman Hayes Watts. He'll have to take his seat, just committed his second foul.
Now Bridgeport's going to try here just to try to beat Amherst down the floor from time to time and get those baskets in transition, try to get numbers. Again, not the biggest team, so the half court you think would favor, overall would favor Amherst.
Riesland has 4 early points, and it's a 5-point cushion for the top seed. Mentioned that Freeman got the best of Amherst a season ago in the state championship game. Well, it was Bridgeport. They got the better of Freeman in the district final game.
Yeah.
Really impressive. Opened a lot of eyes.
Yeah.
They beat them 42-23. They held Freeman without a made three-pointer the entire game.
Well, it's that game that tells me that Bridgeport, despite their youth, despite their distance, they're the 8th seed, they can make a run. I mean, they can win games like this.
Good look for Gage 9. The sophomore unable to convert. Hadwiger in open court to the rack, and it swirls in.
Well, Hadwiger is just a difficult assignment for any team. He's just a good scorer and can score at different levels. Very difficult matchup.
6'4", strong, but can handle the basketball, shoot it from distance as well. A switch defensively and a whistle. 2 shots coming for Bridgeport. It's on Braylon Russell. Him and Adelung, each with the foul to begin for the Broncos.
Like the aggressive attack there by Lucetto. Take the ball to the basket, get to the free throw line. That's what Bridgeport's got to play with, that kind of aggressive chip on their shoulder. and go right at this Amherst defense.
Couldn't hit at the line. Lucetto, who averages 16 points a game, described by his coach as a gym rat. Gets the most out of his body. He's excellent with the pivot, with the jab step, and he did set the score record for made threes in the season.
Excellent three-point shooter. We'll see if that comes into play. I think Amherst has to be worried about his ability to make threes in this ballgame.
Here's Adelung firing up another, and he hits for the second time.
Speaking of three-point shooters, how about Adelung? You got to get out on him. You got to contest those shots.
Charge. Set up in the lane, Carter Riesland. He was sturdy. And that's a charge on gauge 9. Good job setting up. We'll get a look at it again here. Certainly had his feet situated to draw that charge. Timeout taken at the midway point of quarter number 1 on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. It's a 9-point cushion for Amherst.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Aloe. You deserve the fiber things in life. Aloe Fiber. And by Unity Eye Centers, your provider of choice in Norfolk, Columbus, Grand Island, Pierce, and St. Paul.
Sean Sturkle on your screen, fourth-year head coach for Bridgeport. Former head coach at Ainsworth, made the move out west to coach his alma mater. It just means more when you're a graduate of that school, and that is the case for Sean Sturkle. Got into coaching, he said, for this opportunity to coach his alma mater in the state tournament.
He's doing a great job with this program. Got him to the district final last year. Now they're here at state.
They were in Class D1 last year. He said it was a weird deal, had a couple of low classes. Says C2 is where they're going to be for the foreseeable future. Hadwiger, good shot fake. And nothing but net.
Hadwiger knocks that three down, that runs down the court with the three fingers held high. When you're as good as him, you can do that sort of stuff.
Dean against Riesland finishes.
Yeah, Dean could be a factor in this game. He's not that big, but he's a good post player.
Quick trigger three ball missed by Hadwiger. The Broncos had hit 3 of their first 4 from range. Now a transition 3, Lucetto, splash.
Well, there you go, good timeout. You got some momentum now, Bridgeport.
Nobody accounts for Hadwiger. You can't do that, but he can't hit the 3.
Got lucky on that one.
High arcer from Russell hits off the back rim and a foul. That's the first on Hadwiger. It is the morning game, the first of 2 in this session, first of 6 today at the Bob. And it might be early, but there's no shortage of energy in this arena.
No, there's a lot of energy. I think, like Eric pointed out, these are young people. They're not an old guy like me. You know, I got to get up and get some caffeine in my body and get going. But these kids are ready to go.
And the fans.
Yeah.
On top of it.
There were people here.
They brought the juice.
Yeah, there were people here in the stands when I got here before 8 o'clock this morning. The fans are ready to go.
Both coaches telling me that the pace this game's going to be played at, your blood pressure will get going quickly, regardless of the hour of day.
Oh.
Nicholas Weibert from distance. And it's an 8-0 Bridgeport run.
Great hit by Weibert. There's some confidence. This is the young team showing tons of confidence, not worried about falling behind.
Just his 13th made 3 of the season. 23% on the year. The Bulldogs fans making some noise. Riesland goes to work. Off the window, too strong. 9 feeds the corner. Not that time for Weibert. Hadwiger trying to weave through some defenders. Now Riesland dumps it down. A bit of a shoulder there from Lucetto, no whistle. Out of bounds, and last touched by Riesland, just lost it.
Yeah, I think this track meet style of basketball right now might help Bridgeport. This is their style. This is the way they want to play the game. And so far, Amherst has kind of obliged them. They're pushing the tempo as well. And I think this helps Bridgeport in just the way the game is being played.
Here's Dean. He's been effective inside. Throws it away there. This is your first quarter, brought to you by John Henry's. Our family, serving yours.
That's only the first turnover for Bridgeport. They've got to take care of the basketball in this ball game. Do that at a high level. You have a chance to stay in this for 4 quarters.
Amherst had the 15-3 lead. Bulldogs with the momentum. Hadwiger rises, fires, leaves it short, and a foul on Riesland. Good box out by the Bulldogs. Leads to the foul call. That is the 3rd this quarter. Make that the 4th this quarter on Amherst.
That's just a fundamental play. Get position. That was 9 that just got good position and forced Riesland to climb his back.
Switch defensively. They have the smaller Adelung on Dean. Gets past him, and Hadwiger erases the shot. The three-pointer is long from 9, and the rebound secured by Jones. Blocking foul on Bridgeport. Free throws coming for Amherst. That is the 5th on the Bulldogs.
Watch this block, good position, and there's the athletic ability that we talked about with Hadwiger. He could really get up there, and that's not a block that a lot of guys can make. He did that flat-footed up in the air and blocked that shot. That's just a great athletic play.
One of the more impressive athletes in Class C2, no doubt. That foul was number 2 on Landon Dean. He takes a seat. 6'3" sophomore Colton Carrier replaces him.
The only thing that bugs me about Hadwiger is he's got a better mustache than I do.
Yeah, you gotta just accept it. Some guys are just blessed.
Yeah, for sure.
Kyler Jones, 0 for 2 at the stripe. Those were only his 9th and 10th free throw attempts of the season. Certainly not a place he's been frequently. Open 3. And it spins through. Bodie Dosey, senior off the bench with a big moment. And it's a 1-point ball game.
Well, you got to get back. Well, that foul's on the floor. That Hadwiger, I think it's on the floor.
It is, and it is the 6th foul, so we've been in the bonus, so 2 shots coming here for Hadwiger.
Yeah, but you got to worry about Hadwiger because he's a guy that will take it coast to coast on you.
And Hadwiger ends the 12-0 Bridgeport spurt.
What a great run by the youngsters from Bridgeport.
Took a little adjusting. Now you can see what got them here to the state tournament. 7 first quarter points for Hadwiger, 6 for Adelung, so 13 of the 17 for Amherst from those 2 guys. That is expected. They are the only double-digit scorers. They are the bulk of the offense for Amherst. 10 seconds here for Bridgeport. What a crossover. Wow. And the scoop shot for Weibert. Hadwiger pulls up just in front of half court. And grazes the front rim. Just 1 point separating the number 1 seed from the 8 seed. Stay with us. The second quarter is next. Amherst, good ball movement, and Tage Hadwiger sinking the 3. It's the Broncos in front.
Which recognizes student academic excellence, leadership, and athletics.
champions are crowned each year in Lincoln. All of us at Visit Lincoln welcome the athletes, families, and fans from across Nebraska to our community. When the final whistle blows and the game ends, make sure to discover how Lincoln can make your stay even more memorable. Stop by the Visitor Center at 7th and P in the Haymarket or visit us on the web at lincoln.org. Visit Lincoln is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Zollner Ford and Lincoln. Meeting your sales, service, and parts needs. 5 Points Bank. Trust the better bank for your financial needs. And by Family Physical Therapy, getting you back in the game.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. The wedding bands. We'll be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
Start of the second quarter, the Bulldogs of Bridgeport turn it over, but what an impressive first 8 minutes for the 8 seed. It's just a 1-point game. Defending state runners-up Amherst in front by a sliver.
Michael, I really like the way Bridgeport handled that adversity. Down big there early in that first quarter, double digits, but battled their way back. That shows a lot about what this team's made of.
Open 3 ball, Russell, no good. Coach Sean Sturkle, here's a quick trigger 3. Glass cleared by Hadwiger. Coach Sturkle said he's treating this game like a prize fight. Amherst is going to win some rounds, including this drive. What a Euro step. Tage Hadwiger with 9 already.
That's a great move by Hadwiger.
Just missed by Lucetto, and foul called. It goes against Bridgeport. Tag that one on Lucetto. Coach Sturkle said it's like a prize fight. You're going to lose some rounds, you're going to win some rounds. It's those tight rounds in the middle, or those tight rounds that are undecided. You have to seize that opportunity to win the prize fight, to beat the #1 seed. And already some guys seizing that opportunity. Nick Weibert has 5 points. He averages 3 a game. Bodie Dosey hit a 3. He averages 3 points a game. Some Bulldogs are stepping up.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need in this environment, at this level of competition. You've got to have everybody playing at a high level.
Good finds to get the ball to Russell inside and works it back out. Tough pass, trying to cross the lane against the long arms of Landon Dean. Knocks it out of bounds.
Well, I think this end of the floor is where Bridgeport can really, make things happen on that defensive end. They're very active. They're not the biggest team again, but I love the way they get hands in passing lanes. They contest everything.
Jump ball. Quick bounce pass on the sideline, on the baseline inbound to Hadwiger. Oh boy. Jump ball keeps it with the Broncos.
Lucetto's fortunate he didn't get a foul called reaching in there.
Not sure where Riesland was going with that lob pass. Each team with 2 turnovers. Inside to Dean, has the size advantage, but it's Hadwiger, his second swat with the help defense.
Gets the block and the rebound.
Adelung gets inside, foul before the shot. That is the second foul this quarter already on Bridgeport, so Amherst a chance just like in the first quarter. Build up that foul situation, get to the line late in the period. Again, new this year, 5 fouls per quarter. Once you hit that mark, 2 foul shots. Resets after the quarter. For the Hadwiger miss, the Broncos get another try. Tough entry pass, and another steal for the Bridgeport Bulldogs. They go to work right away. A bump, is that on Hadwiger? It is. That's the second foul on the 21-point per game scorer for Amherst.
That could be huge. We'll see how that plays out. He's a smart player, though. He's one of those guys that can play with fouls and do so intelligently.
Tough shot in the lane, all the way around the cylinder and down for Gage 9.
Well, could that be a kind of a sign of things to come? That shot rolls around and finds a way to fall in. Can Bridgeport find a way here in this morning opener?
Hadwiger remains in the game with 2 fouls. That is expected. Amherst, sometimes they'll play their starting 5 the entire game. They bring 2 freshmen off the bench. And an offensive foul. Riesland on an illegal screen. He has 2.
Yeah, that's 2 of Amherst's top guys, obviously, with 2 fouls now. You see the screen there. That's not quite set. So Bridgeport, after being down, was it 15-3, I believe? They got a chance here to take the lead.
A 15-4 run for the 8 seed. Lucetto almost got it to fall. Hadwiger clears the basketball, and Amherst will slow it up into the half court. Hadwiger out of bounds. Last touch by Bridgeport.
Both Lucetto and Hadwiger were wanting the call there, and it went Amherst's way. Amherst got to get back to just passing the basketball well. I think they're an aggressive team offensively, but you want to be able to pass it well and get good shots. That one was a long 3.
Adelung, his first miss from beyond the arc. And that's the 3rd foul on Tage Hadwiger. It was clean up top, but the body contact draws the foul, and the Bulldog fans are loving it.
Well, the thing about Hadwiger is he's such an aggressive player. I mean, he's a smart player, usually doesn't go for these plays, but he's such a great shot blocker, great athlete, and there's the body bump. That's where the call came from. The block was clean, but bumped him on the body on the way up.
Terrific job by Lucetto to target the senior in foul trouble for the Broncos. Oh, man, Bridgeport, their basketball is like magnetized to the rim right now.
Yeah.
It wants to touch the rim for as long as it can.
Yeah, we've seen some bounce around and fall in. That one bounced around and fell out. Still a chance to tie the game, Michael.
78% foul shooter, has missed a couple today. He just missed both there. Uncharacteristic for the hot shooting senior. Amherst has not trailed in this game. In fact, they've been ahead the whole time. It hasn't even been tied. Playing with 3 fouls. Hadwiger off the back rim and stripped loose. Hayes Watts takes it away from Riesland. Now Watts against Adelung, and the lead to Bridgeport for the first time on the transition bucket for the freshman.
Well, there you go. That's the transition game that Bridgeport wants to play.
Adelung clears some space and hits from the elbow.
Coach Scherkel wanted that off-arm foul call. They didn't get it. Adelung knocks down a big one to give Amherst the lead right back.
Known as a spot shooter, has added that to his game this year. More mid-range opportunities. And there is the 3rd foul on Carter Riesland.
Wow.
2 returning starters, 2 of the top 3 scorers, 2 seniors with 3 first-half fouls for the Broncos.
That could be huge. And you still have 3:10 to go in the second quarter. This isn't like the 4th quarter where you can kind of, maybe play with some of those fouls. You're probably going to have guys have to sit here for a little while.
They've called that on Braylon Russell, I believe. So Riesland actually not picking up his 3rd there. I didn't see Russell in the area. Dean through some contact, not bothered, and he has a big grin sprinting down the court.
Yeah, Riesland tried to draw the charge, did not get the call.
Into the game, Gavin Davis, a 6'4" freshman, playing in his 22nd game of the year. open look for Russell. Took him a second to get that basketball rotated and maybe threw him off rhythm. It's out of bounds to the Bulldogs, who enjoy a 1-point lead against the #1 seed.
Well, I think there's been history of this, with especially here on NCN. I remember last year, Wahoo.
Right.
They were the #1 seed against Auburn and lost that game. Of course, it was Auburn, but yeah, I mean,
C1 game.
Yeah, C1 game. You're right. Not out of the question, certainly, for Bridgeport to win this thing, and they're in it right now, up 1 with the basketball.
And Hadwiger on the bench for Amherst, perhaps for the remaining 2.5 minutes of this first half. Be sure to stick around for halftime. We'll have your halftime highlights presented by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Sartor Heyman will help make your jewelry dreams come true. Dean again, but this time it's short. Adelung finds a seam. Not good off the backboard, and the tip comes right to us.
Nice catch, Michael.
That's my lone highlight of the day.
You had really good position on me there. Nice job. Blocked
I
me
had
out.
you sealed off. Good lather being worked up by Coach Sean Sturkle, barking instructions. He did get, as a player, a trip to the state tournament. Didn't get a win. Bridgeport has not had a win at state since 1990. They've lost in the first round in their last 5 trips.
Oh.
But they get the bucket to extend the lead there with Colton Carrier.
The Carrier just kind of in the right place at the right time. That ball bounced around. Carrier picks it up and scores. Everything kind of going the way you want it to go right now if you're Bridgeport.
Carrier, that's his second foul. Bridgeport much deeper. They usually bring 3 or 4 off the bench.
Fouls on the Bulldogs, number 23, Colton Carrier. That's his second personal foul. Checking in for Bridgeport, 21, Bodie Tosi.
There's the push in the back.
Third team foul against
trying to find Riesland. Amherst trying to generate offense with Hadwiger on the bench. Such a vital part of this team. Not just with his scoring, but he creates for others. The freshman Davis into Riesland. Riesland with the left hand doesn't get it to drop, but draws the foul on Dosey.
Well, Riesland did a nice job there just to step around that rim, use that rim as protection. Goes one way on one side of the rim and goes around to the other. Gets that shot off and gets fouled.
Described by Coach Eric Rippon as the ultimate role player. Everybody loves playing with Carter Riesland. He brings the passion. 6'4" senior, starter, last year's state tournament team, state runners-up. A 55% foul shooter, goes 1 for 2. Just 5 points this quarter for Amherst. What a crossover. Lost the basketball though. Now 9. High degree of difficulty on that pull-up. Bridgeport's defense has really picked up the intensity. Amherst led by 12 midway through the first quarter. Now it's the Bulldogs in front with 30 seconds to play in the first half. No shot clock in Class C2. Tough pass inside. Good denial by Colby Lucetto.
Yeah, Lucetto probably prevented a lay-in there. Just got up and tapped that basketball out of bounds. Amherst rotated well there, had a guy underneath the bucket, but Lucetto prevented the hoop.
Adelung wants the basketball. Drives into traffic. Now Russell, shot blocked
but a foul. Logan Metz going up to get a chance to block that one. Got a little bit of the hands.
Yep, got him right on the hand there. Now Russell, chance here to tie the ball game. Left that one short. You'd love to have some momentum here. I mean, Amherst jumped all over Bridgeport early, but it's been all Bridgeport since then.
Both sides have struggled at the free throw line here in the first half. Would be a big confidence builder for Russell, who has yet to score. And he does get the second. And a timeout taken by Bridgeport. 3 seconds remaining here on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard this quarter. Just a 30-second timeout. And there is the 21-5 Bridgeport Bulldogs. They're a team that had 4 of their 5 losses January 12th or earlier.
Yeah.
They're a group that starts 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores. Those early losses, those freshmen are going against players that had a 50 or 60 game head start against them. They really got it rolling in their conference tournament, a tournament they won, beating North Platte St. Patrick's in the tournament championship game. And that win over North Platte St. Pat's, enormous. They hadn't beaten them in several years. I believe the first Bridgeport championship in that conference. The last time they beat North Platte St. Pat's, Lou, was when Sean Sturkle, the head coach, played in 2005.
Wow. Yeah, obviously a big win. I love the moxie of these young guys, though. They've played well.
A steal for Adelung for 3. He's fouled.
Oh.
And Austin Adelung gets 3 free throws with 0.3 of a second on the clock.
Well, that's a big mistake. That's a tough shot. I mean, if he makes it, he makes it. You don't want to foul him, though. That's a heck of a steal. And I think that Dean is saying he didn't even touch him. But boy, you just can't have that foul at the end of the half.
Well, the freshmen, they got rolling there in that conference tournament, but a freshman mistake by Dean picks up his 3rd foul on a 3-point shooter.
Yeah, that's a foul you just didn't need to have.
And an 80% free throw shooter at that.
That's going to give Amherst that little bit of momentum boost going into the locker room.
What a play by the senior Adelung. I don't know if that's what was drawn up in that Bridgeport timeout. A big swing of momentum at the end of the half in favor of the top seed Broncos, but it's the 8th seed Bridgeport Bulldogs proving they belong here in Lincoln. We have a ball game, folks, in the 1 versus 8. You're watching the Class C2 Boys State Basketball Tournament on News Channel Nebraska.
I've had the opportunity to work with so many outstanding students and parents in my 37 years as a public school teacher. The 2 things I've noticed they all have in common: a love for their community and a pride in their school. I've seen that pride in my science students who become scientists, in parents who show up for every game and every parent-teacher conference, in former students who become community leaders. Nebraska public schools are indeed the heart of our communities.
John Henry's is now offering electrical service. Our service professionals have been helping with plumbing, heating, and cooling in Lincoln and the surrounding areas for more than 25 years. Now, we're proud to offer the same level of professionalism in our new electrical service. From a whole home rewire to adding new outlets or electric car chargers, John Henry's can be your one-stop shop for all your home's needs. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical. Our family serving yours since 1996.
Start your next journey with Woodhouse. Our commitment extends beyond just selling cars. We offer an unparalleled car buying experience that allows you to shop and buy all online. Explore an array of new brands, makes, and models, as well as our large selection of pre-owned vehicles. And it's easy to get started today with our streamlined purchasing process online, granting you the freedom to secure your next vehicle anytime, anywhere. Discover a better way to buy with Woodhouse.
Welcome back to the Bob Devaney Sports Center. The Amherst dance team entertaining us here at halftime. Michael Shifley, Lou Siefker, Eric McKay with you, and you see on your Aurora Cooperative scoreboard there, just 2 points separating the #1 seed versus the 8th seed. Let's show you how that first half happened. Your halftime highlights brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Stunning engagement collections, exceptional diamonds, and dazzling gemstones can be found at their Lincoln and Grand Island locations. What a start for Amherst. Tage Hadwiger, really good shot fake. Of course, he hits the shot. It was 15-3, everything going the Broncos' way. But then this started to happen. Colby Lucetto from distance. The Bulldogs get some momentum, and they go on an enormous 9-0 run. Get the final bucket of the first quarter to cut it to a 1-point game heading to the second. Landon Dean, he was a big reason why. That time he got blocked by Tage Hadwiger. Had a couple of blocks, but also a foul on an attempt to block a shot, and he has 3. That's Hayes Watts, the freshman. Late in the second quarter, Landon Dean knocks down the defender, finishes through that contact. He's loving it. Bridgeport grabbed the lead. They were in front 24-21, but Amherst finished the first half on a 5-0 spurt to retake the lead.
Yeah, those 3 free throws by Adelung were really big. They're off that late foul that Landon Dean committed. Now, Landon Dean, I think he's a guy that's really important for Bridgeport. He's a good post player. Gives them that little bit of size. He's at 6'3", but only a freshman. He's playing a lot better than a freshman you would expect to play. He's played well.
For more on the story behind the #1 seed Amherst Broncos, let's head to our sideline reporter, Eric McKay.
Thanks, Michael. Talon Trampy would have been a freshman in college this year. No doubt would have been among the fans here cheering on his Amherst Broncos. But Talon, unfortunately, didn't make it out of high school. Diagnosed with Marfan syndrome. He passed away 2 weeks after open heart surgery. You might recall last year Amherst, when they were down here at State, had an empty seat on their bench with a number 24 jersey draped over it. That was in honor of Talon. Now, Coach Rippon told us this week that while Talon would have been a senior last year, the team that's still here still plays for Talon, still uses him as inspiration, even though he would have graduated last year. That inspiration is going to live on forever at Amherst. That number 24 jersey from last year now sits in Amherst High School permanently as a fixture in their trophy case. Both teams trying to add to their trophy cases. Close one at the half. We've got more halftime show coming up. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people that we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
The way we use electricity has changed a lot over the years. What hasn't changed is our commitment to make sure it's there the moment you need it. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
I think if you're somebody who's starting a business, or you're a farmer, or you just want somewhere to trust with your finances, you should choose Midwest Bank, because we work very hard to understand your situation and be a part of every step that you're going through. We truly care what's happening in our communities. We want to be out there, be a part of what's going on, and you'll feel the heart that we have for our communities. You'll feel the belief we have in our customers, and you'll really understand that that's the Midwest Bank way.
What a ball game. 26-24. Amherst leads Bridgeport at the break. Michael Shively, Lou Siefker, Eric McKay just reporting on Talon Trampy. His nickname Slink is such an important memory for these Amherst basketball players. To add on to that report, Scout Simmons, last year's point guard, Talon's best friend. Coach Rippon did give him the away jersey as a graduation gift, and another jersey with all of the medals and a section of the net from every tournament won by Amherst last year. They collected that, gave that to Talon's family as a graduation gift there as well, and lots of meaning behind basketball played at that school.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a you know, it's a sad story, but it's a great story too, because the way the kids rallied around that situation, and it really, the whole community did so, and it really propelled them into a runner-up finish last year. They remember Talon, they're still playing for him, and you can see it out here on the floor. A lot of passion with this Amherst team.
They're hoping they can make it back to the state championship game, but facing a tough test against the 8 seed. Here's a look at the bracket. What else we're going to see here on television today and in person at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. The 1 versus 8 matchup, Amherst-Bridgeport. Up next, it's Summerland against Cross County. 2 consolidations. Have never been to the state tournament. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun game. I've had a chance to see Summerland. I haven't seen Cross County this year. Summerland's a fun team to watch. That should be a really close ball game.
Ponca takes on Norfolk Catholic in a battle of Northeast Nebraska foes. And then it's Cedar Catholic out of Hardington going against Lincoln Lutheran. That is your Class C2 bracket. We also have some night games here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Class D2 quarterfinals. Maywood Hayes Center against Elm Creek and Walt Hill against Sumner Eddyville Miller. Here at halftime, Lou, the story really is that Bridgeport is in this ball game.
Yeah.
They had the lead, if not for some late sequences that went the Broncos' way.
Yeah, they had the foul there at the end. But the Bridgeport babies, they're here, they're young, they don't care. They're here to play basketball and maybe win this thing. They're only down 2. This is going to be an exciting finish. I can't wait to see what happens.
Foul trouble for Amherst.
Yeah.
Tage Hadwiger has 3. A couple other players with 2.
Yeah, Hadwiger, that's going to be big. He's got to stay out of foul trouble. For Amherst to win this game, you got to have Hadwiger on the floor. He's a special player. Could be the difference maker in this one.
We're getting ready for the start of the third quarter. Amherst against Bridgeport. It's a 1-possession game. Don't leave us here on NCN.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. By Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
Atlas Fiber Internet has definitely increased the productivity of our office. It's one of those things with internet and being a marketing company, we have to have it on and running all the time. And it's always up. We don't run into lags, we don't run into latency issues. It doesn't vary throughout the day, it doesn't vary on weekends or busy time periods. We have local service here. We need to go talk to somebody. They're just a quarter of a mile away for us to be able to chat with somebody. And that is a huge peace of mind for me as a business owner. So I would not hesitate at all to recommend Allo to anybody.
Salas weaving in, weaving out, and skying for...
Hey sports fans, looking for a convenient pit stop before or after the game? Look no further than Good To Go convenience stores. We're here to keep you going. Fuel up your tank with a refreshing drink and grab one more snack for the road. Good To Go, your winning play for game day.
And hey, I can dunk it too.
Good To Go convenience stores. Fuel up for the game locations in Lincoln, York, Geneva, Bruning, and Hebron.
Back here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. A close game at halftime. Amherst coach Rippon telling me they need to stay out of foul trouble. Foul trouble is going to be big trouble for them if they don't shore that up in the second half. Also said he wants to see more patience on offense, wants to see him play with more confidence. As for Bridgeport, Coach Sturkle didn't say anything to me. He immediately came out of the locker room, sat down, grabbed the clipboard, called his players over, and immediately started diagramming plays. Never let it be said that Bridgeport will not be caught off guard when it comes to X's and O's. Michael and Lou, back to you.
He meant business.
Yeah.
Charging out of that locker room, immediately taking to the whiteboard. You love it. The intensity shown by both head coaches.
Yeah, I've been watching Coach Sturkle. He's just down to our left here, and he's fired up. He's ready to coach this team and really focus. Both these guys, great coaches. I think foul problems could be a big factor in this ball game, really on both sides. Dean has 3, and obviously Hadwiger, Amherst's best player, has 3 fouls. We'll see if what sort of a factor that plays in here as we get late in the ball game.
Coaches Sturkle and Rippon are friends. They do know each other, have crossed paths in coaching circles. Coach Sturkle formerly at Ainsworth, a little bit closer to Amherst. What a drive. Missed shot, though, by Hayes Watts, and a strong rebound pulled down by Riesland.
That's Carter Riesland's 7th rebound of the ball game.
Amherst, 3 straight appearances here in Lincoln. State runners-up a year ago. Bridgeport ending a 3-year drought from the state tournament by getting there this season. And Hadwiger in the lane draws a whistle on Bridgeport.
Yeah, just from our vantage point, it looked like Hadwiger did not have control of the basketball. It might be because he got fouled. Let's see here.
Well, that's a tough one to go against Nicholas Weibert. It was not that back defender. It was Lucetto on the back that you saw there. They called it against Weibert, who came over with the help defense, his 2nd foul.
I didn't think Lucetto had committed the foul.
Hadwiger gets 1 out of 2, then gets the rebounds. 11 points for Adelung and 10 for Hadwiger. No surprise to see them dominating the scoring column for the Broncos. Hadwiger charge.
Oh.
And the 4th foul. How about Nicholas Weibert setting up defensively against the senior?
That's a monster call in this game. Weibert, that's a tough one against Hadwiger. That could have been a block. There's a reason I don't wear the stripes. That's a tough game to officiate, but boy, that's a tough call, I think, against Hadwiger.
Gavin Davis, a 6'4" freshman, averaging 3 points a game, going to be tasked with some critical second half minutes with the Broncos' best player on the bench. Rising and firing out of bounds. 9 unable to convert. The Broncos unable to secure the rebound. There is Hadwiger in all of his mustachioed glory on the sideline, but upper lip hair not swaying the referees at all today. Landon Dean gets the and 1. The freshman post player fired up for the Bulldogs.
Well, first of all, good job by Dean to stay with that, to get the offensive rebound. Got to be aggressive now that Hadwiger is on the floor and attacking the paint. I think Dean can make some hay inside there, gets a chance for the 3-point play. And my next question, Michael, is can we coin that phrase, mustachioed glory? Can we get like T-shirts with that? I like that.
I think we can do something about it. Another chance here for Bridgeport. Already 2 points this possession. 9, directing traffic. He wants a Dean screen. Gets the switch. Now Dean inside against the 5'11" Adelung, and a charge. And that's foul number 4 on Landon Dean. Both big guys gonna have to spend some time with their seats on the bench.
Yeah, they got him with his shoulder there. That was Adelung that was right up against him there, and Dean kind of threw that shoulder against the foul called against him. So 2 difference makers, 1 for each team, and certainly Hadwiger, great player, senior for Amherst in foul trouble, and Dean, the freshman for Bridgeport in foul trouble.
Those 2 have combined to score 18 points in this game, and both of them on the bench, likely for an extended time. Loose basketball winds up with Riesland. Can't hit on the first or second tries, and the third try, he gets a foul call against Weibert.
Well, how about Carter Riesland? That's effort basketball. That's I want this. Watch him go get their offensive rebound and just takes the second rebound away from Hayes Watts of Bridgeport. Just took it away from him. Ends up here at the free throw line. That's the sort of effort that wins ball games.
And he hits the first. 6 points for Riesland. There is Landon Dean on the bench. Certainly could have factored in on that rebound. 6'3" strong frame sitting on the bench. That was the third foul, by the way, on Weibert. Foul trouble galore on both sides. Well, it might be a morning game, but it is certainly physical. That basketball belongs to the Broncos.
Bodie Dose lost it, I believe. Let's see the replay.
Yeah, that was Bodie Dosey, the senior.
Yep, Dosey had his hand on it and then just lost it out of bounds.
Adelung from way deep. Not phased by distance. Austin Adelung, his third tray ball of the game.
Adelung's going to stretch that defense, can make it from inside the gym anywhere.
Trying to respond, it's short from Weibert, and the rebound secured by Gavin Davis of Amherst. Back to a 5-point cushion for the Broncos, but they turn it over. Weibert scoops it in.
There you go, steal transition game. That's Bridgeport's best way to get the lead back in this ballgame.
Foul on Lucetto, his second. Oh, wait a second. Oh, they called that. Oh, that's his, sorry, replay of the Weibert steal. Pardon me. Adelung dumps it down. That 5-point lead a moment ago for Amherst was their biggest lead since it was 15-8. Third foul on Hayes Watts. That is the fourth foul. No, make that the 5th team foul. 5 fouls on Bridgeport in the first 3 minutes and 2 seconds of the second quarter, and it puts Adelung, an 80% free throw shooter, at the line.
That's certainly what you want if you're Amherst. I think both these teams are playing aggressively. They're both attacking, and we might want to suit up, Michael, before this is over. There's going to be a lot of guys fouling out of this game if it continues the way it's going right now.
Amherst has already gone deeper on its bench than it wants to. Bridgeport's depth being tested as well.
Yeah, for Amherst, as you mentioned, Michael, they don't play a lot of players. A lot of times they only play 5. They get players that's got to step up here.
What a drive and a tough finish. Gage 9 with his second basket.
Excellent dribble drive all the way to the hoop by Gage 9. A big bucket there for Bridgeport.
One possession game. And if it was going to be one possession, I would have told you it was Bridgeport's pressure defense that was getting it done. That hasn't really been the factor. The Bulldogs have been able to score in the half court today, which isn't necessarily their specialty.
Yeah, I mean, you think the way they've been able to score in the half court, you think maybe Bridgeport might even be ahead in this game. They're down 3, but only turned Amherst over 4 times in this ball game.
Back rim for Russell. Metz takes a seat. Carrier returns.
There's so many things for coaches to think about in games. Free throw no good. Both of these teams have to figure out when they're going to bring their best players back in with 4 fouls.
Free throw shooting going to be critical with all the fouls on both of these sides, and the Broncos just missed 2 at the line. It's been a rough day there for Russell, the junior. Good extra pass. That's Zach Lucetto in the ball game, the junior, playing for the first time today. Now Lucetto fires up the 3 and hits. the 5'6" junior, with his 14th made three of the season, and it comes at an enormous second half moment for the Bulldogs. Offensive foul, Gavin Davis of Amherst.
You get the three, then you get the foul, now you get the basketball back. But a block charge has been big calls here in this ball game. There's been several of those. But now Bridgeport, boy, you take this into the fourth quarter with even tied or maybe the lead, that really puts a ton of pressure on Amherst.
Broncos falling into a 2-3 zone defense. They played man-to-man up until this point. Another three for Lucetto is an air ball. Adelung fires the pass to Davis, hits the point blank shot. It's Amherst back in front.
Yeah, good job by Davis to catch that high pass, bring it down, and make sure he scores that hoop.
Adelung, his role expanding with Hadwiger on the bench. He's been up to the task in the third quarter. It's back to man-man defense for Amherst. Lucetto draws contact before the shot. That is the fourth team foul on Amherst. The next one puts Bridgeport at the line. That is the first on Kyler Jones.
Well, I thought initially that Amherst and Coach Rippon, they went to that zone to maybe slow down this Bridgeport dribble drive, because that's been where a lot of the fouls have been coming from. Both teams aggressively taking the ball at the basket, get to that zone and force them more into a perimeter game, but now Amherst right back in the man-to-man.
Lucetto finds some space and kicks it out. 9 for 3. Offensive rebounds. Dosey, it's ripped loose by Adelung.
Well, Dosey with a really good rebound, but he brought the basketball down below his waist. That allowed Amherst to get the basketball and at least tie him up, but then Amherst gets the steal.
Amherst, an offensive juggernaut a season ago. They've had to win some games in the 40s this year, and it's developing into that type of game this morning. And Adelung called for the foul, his second, that's the team fifth. Bridgeport will shoot free throws with 1:45 left in the third quarter on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard.
Oh, with the fouls mounting, if you like free throws, you might have come to the right place, because I think you're going to see quite a few here.
Bridgeport shoots just 59% as a team at the line. 9, though, is one of the better free throw shooters at 74% and sinks the first.
This game might come down to just who shoots best from the free throw line down the stretch.
We're all tied up with 9 minutes and 45 seconds left in regulation. Tage Hadwiger, the top scorer for the Broncos, on the bench for almost the entire third quarter. Landon Dean for much of it for Bridgeport. Here's Rieslands. Drive for Russell, and he gets it to drop off of the backboard for his first field goal of the game.
Like the drive, both teams again, they're really attacking the paint. Russell takes it in. That makes kind of a tough shot.
In the lane, it doesn't drop, and Amherst has the basketball. And a foul 90 feet from the basket, and Russell will journey back to the free throw line with under a minute to play in the third. That bucket by Russell a moment ago, just the third field goal made by somebody besides Hadwiger and Adelung today.
Yeah, Amherst has to step up now and make free throws. You've got a 2-point lead. Again, free throws are going to be big in this game.
There it goes for Russell.
And usually most of the teams that are here are good shooting teams and certainly make plays at the free throw line. But they become really big when you're at the state tournament.
That basketball does not drop through. 1 for 2 for Russell. Bridgeport, usually an up-tempo team, might hold it here for the final look of the quarter. They can't do it because Riesland swipes it loose. Chance to grow the lead for Amherst with their star on the bench in foul trouble. And a timeout taken by Eric Rippin. Will step aside as well with 12 seconds to play in the third quarter. It's a 3-point lead for Amherst on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard.
That is literally the funniest thing ever.
And then I said,
it wasn't, but this guy could use a win. Even if it's not as big of a win as I get with free Kasasa Cash checking. Kasasa Cash pays me a really high rate and refunds ATM withdrawal fees nationwide. So I feel like a queen. Has a mega bank ever made you feel that way? Or was it more like this guy? Take back banking with Kasasa Cash.
Get Kasasa checking at Liberty First Credit Union.
Amherst called their first timeout of the game. Eric Rippin figuring out what to do here with 12 seconds left. His team, here 12 seconds left in the third quarter. His team up 3 points. The 1 versus 8, competitive on the other side as well in Class D2. Pinnacle Bank Arena, Shelton and Humphrey St. Francis are tied at 43. Shelton and Amherst both in Buffalo County. Both Central Nebraska teams struggling to put away the 8 seeds.
Well, like I said earlier, Michael, and I believe this, there's going to be some madness. It's March. There's going to be some upsets, and we might see one here. This is a big a moment, I think, for Amherst. Can you extend this lead as you enter into the fourth quarter?
Thrown inside to Riesland, but it's taken away. Here's Bridgeport with 5 seconds. Colby Lucetto travels, and there's 1.4 for the Broncos. Slid that foot, trying to fake out the defender in the corner.
Yeah, missed an opportunity there, did Bridgeport.
And Amherst will take it to quarter number 4 with a slim 3-point lead. What a ball game. The Broncos 38, the Bulldogs 35 on News Channel Nebraska.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Allo. You deserve the fiber things in life. Allo Fiber. And by Unity Eye Centers, your provider of choice in Norfolk, Columbus, Grand Island, Pierce, and St. Paul.
Hello, this is Greg from Family Physical Therapy. We've grown a lot since we opened our doors in 1993, but our philosophy remains to provide excellent patient care above all else. Our patients are greeted with smiles, and our therapists are driven by their patients' success in achieving goals. We provide physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy to those of all ages. Family Physical Therapy has locations across Nebraska. Stop by a clinic near you today.
Back at the Bob, 3-point game in Class C2. You know, you've heard of teams wearing their communities on their sleeves. In the case of Bridgeport, they're doing it on their basketball shorts. You might have noticed on their shorts a logo somewhat reminiscent of the Golden State Warriors' iconic basketball with the silhouette of the Golden Gate Bridge. Well, instead of the Golden Gate Bridge, their silhouette is of Courthouse and Jail Rock, 2 geological monuments south of town. Michael and Lou, it's all about repping for the 308 for Bridgeport. I'd say they've repped pretty well so far.
No doubt about that. coming in as the 8 seed, down just 3 entering the fourth quarter. Now Amherst will tell you they're also a 308 area code, but geographically in the Tri-Cities versus Bridgeport in the Panhandle. Tough pass inside to Riesland. He's fortunate to track that down. Hadwiger begins the fourth quarter on the bench for Amherst. Open 3 ball for Jones. Offensive rebound Davis, and he's hacked from behind. The 3rd foul on Colby Lucetto.
Good minutes for Gavin Davis, the freshman for Amherst, comes in there, snares an offensive rebound. He's got a couple boards there. He's had some good minutes here off the bench. And that's exactly what you need. Is guys come in and do some, whatever it is they do well. In his case, probably rebounding and defense and affect the ball game.
Adelung trying to create some space. Will now set up the offense. Curious to see when Coach Rippon puts his star Hadwiger back in the game. Amherst was able to play with the lead with him on the bench in the 3rd quarter. Here's Davis in the short corner. Adelung takes the 3. It's strong, but the offensive rebound secured. A 3rd chance at the hoop for Amherst thanks to Riesland.
Riesland's been really good on the offensive glass. That's number 5 just on the offensive glass. 10 rebounds for the game.
The high-low pass, and it's Davis who puts it through on the feed from Riesland.
Really good pass by Riesland, and there we go. Gavin Davis stepping up, making the play again.
90 seconds off the clock on that possession for Amherst. Into Dean. Dean called for the charge, and that's his 5th foul.
That same exact way he picked up his 4th foul, just throwing the shoulder. He's a young player, and he'll learn how to play that post and to stay out of foul trouble. Watch it again here. There's that shoulder. That's an easy call for the officials. And unfortunately for Bridgeport, Landon Dean fouls out of the ballgame.
Finishes this game with 8 points. Freshman was a difference maker. Now he'll watch from the sideline. Full court pressure for the Bulldogs. Hasn't been able to yield many turnovers, but they do get 3 deflections as the Broncos try to bring it up the court that possession.
Colton Carrier prevented a lay-in. That Amherst would have had an easy layup if he doesn't knock that out of bounds.
Timeout Bridgeport. The Amherst lead has grown to 5 with 6:11 to go here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
A look at the Bridgeport huddle. They break it down 5 here in the fourth quarter. Well, they've got it done in the half court tonight, often a defense to offense team, but a reason why, Lou, they grade all of their shots taken. There are 3 numbers. A 2 is a good shot. It's a catch and shoot jump shot or a basket at the hoop. 1 point for a good shot, but it's contested. No points if it's a contested, off balance, or early possession shot. They say, hey guys, let's hunt 2s. Instead of telling their teammates, hey, that's a bad shot, you say, hey, let's hunt 2s. That means a shot graded out as a 2. Speaking of 2, there's 2 points for Carter Riesland.
Yeah, that was a good shot. That graded well for Amherst. I'm glad they didn't do that back in my day. I would have flunked out of school.
Couple of zeros might have been there on the scouting report. Tough take for Lucetto. Did the basket count?
Well, we've mentioned Bridgeport's youth, and it was Lusetto here, the senior, the experienced player that makes a really big play there. Picks up the foul, makes the shot. You got to stay close now because Amherst is a team that can handle the basketball.
The basket did count for Lusetto, who's up to 6 points. That foul on Braylon Russell, his 4th. And Lusetto hits.
The big 3-point play, only a 4-point game right now. And here comes the full court pressure. There's a steal.
And the layup goes in. Weibert.
That's Bridgeport basketball. They had him right where they wanted him. Got him in the backcourt. Get the steal and the easy bucket.
And another steal. Foul before the basket, and that's the 5th foul on Braylon Russell. He's done.
Well, I was going to say that was a good foul, but he fouled out of the game, but you prevent the lay-in with the reach there. All right, great job by Bridgeport with the pressure defense. 2 steals in a row. Gets them right back in the game.
Tage Hadwiger checks into the ball game. He gets faked out, but Lusetto can't hit, and it's off of Riesland's head, sharply bouncing out of bounds.
I guess the good thing you can say if you're Amherst is you've kept the lead with your best player. Hadwiger is such a good player. He's been just, straddled with those fouls. Now he has to be a difference maker down the stretch.
Davis will have to play the remainder of the game for the Broncos. Fall-away jumper misses for Hayes Watts. Now Hadwiger trying to knock off the rust. Draws contact, bringing it up the court. That is the 3rd team foul on Bridgeport already this quarter. No surprise there. And it is the 4th foul on Lusetto. Your 4th quarter is brought to you by Visit Lincoln. See and experience all that Lincoln has to offer. Discover more at lincoln.org. Riesland at the hoop for 2.
Oh, what a cut by Riesland. Jones found him underneath the basket. Great cut, great pass. Big bucket there for Amherst.
Broncos have not trailed since it was 24-22. But they haven't had a lead greater than 2 possessions either. Stepping in front of that pass, it was nearly a steal for Dosey, and a timeout taken by Amherst with 4:26 remaining on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. A slim lead for the #1 seed on NCN.
Zollner Ford in Beatrice has options to make the process of buying or maintaining vehicles easy and enjoyable. If you have your sights on a new vehicle, a member of our sales team would love to show it to you in the warmth of our showroom or bring it right to your driveway. For maintenance, we offer a few options to make service appointments convenient, like free pickup and delivery within 25 miles of Beatrice, including all of Lincoln. We can also come to you with our mobile service unit to help quickly get going again. Zollner Ford in Beatrice. Sales and service with a smile.
Well, that's how they feel in Amherst. Not about Michael Jordan, it's about Tage Hadwiger.
Yeah.
Shares MJ's number 23. They're happy to see him back in the game, are the Broncos fans. Hadwiger held to 10. He averages 21 a game, and that's because of foul trouble.
10 points, 8 rebounds, and he's watched a lot of the game. Those are pretty good numbers for not playing a whole lot.
He has fouled out 3 times this season, including twice in the last 7 games, most recently February 9th against Elm Creek. Here he hits Adelung. The extra pass to Davis, steps through and leaves it well short. Bridgeport, contact underneath. A collision between Riesland of Amherst and Lusetto of Bridgeport, and that's foul number 5. Yes, it's on Lucetto. He's fouled out. Colby Lucetto has fouled out of the game. The leading scorer and senior for Bridgeport.
Yeah, that's two really big losses there for Bridgeport with Dean first and now Colby Lucetto. And that's going to make it difficult. Only down 4, Bridgeport, 4:07 to go, plenty of time, but a lot of firepower on the bench.
7 points for Lucetto, who hopes it is not his final game for Bridgeport. He's going to need a comeback from his teammates. Hadwiger to Riesland, brought it all the way down and missed the shot at the basket. Hayes Watts pushing the tempo. The speedy freshman unloads. Now a 3-ball is short for Weibert. And there's Davis, another rebound. Hadwiger falling over. Everybody getting noisy here at the Bob this morning. The number 1 seed trying to hold off the 8 seed, and there is the 4th foul on Weibert. That is the 5th team foul on Bridgeport. Lots of free throws on the way.
Might want to get the student managers ready to play because there's not many players left on the bench here with all these fouls, but definitely a reach there. Weibert reached in. Hadwiger at the free throw line.
Sinks the shot, his first shot attempt since leaving the game in the opening minutes of the 3rd. Had 30 against Meade in the district final to get Amherst here to state, and has 12 points right now.
Amherst has been able to extend this lead each quarter, led by 1 after 1, 2 after 2, 3 after 3, and now they've got it up to 6.
Oh, but not for long. Hayes Watts, just his 2nd basket of the game.
That's what I love about this Bridgeport team. You got 2 of your stars on the bench. They're not backing down.
And we told you that in the open. Bridgeport is not coming here afraid. Nothing to lose. A team of largely freshmen and sophomores, not expected to do much. They're leaving it all on the court. Here's Adelung. Knocked back. Now finds his way to the rack and finishes.
What a play by Austin Adelung. Just kept that, got that ball knocked away, kept it, and took it all the way into the basket.
Kicked basketball, stays with Bridgeport. 2:33 to go. 2 timeouts left for Bridgeport, 3 for Amherst.
Now you've got to be really efficient if you're Bridgeport. Down 6, can't have empty possessions. That was a big bucket for Adelung to extend that lead. Makes it really difficult for Bridgeport.
Who's going to provide the offense for Bridgeport with Lucetto on the bench fouled out and Dean fouled out. Tough shot for make that to gauge 9. Now here's Hadwiger behind the back. 1-on-4. And they'll reset.
I think if you're Amherst now, you become a little bit more particular about what shot you get. You don't want a quick one. You want a real high percentage shot if you can get one.
Loose basketball and the Bulldogs have it. And a foul at midcourt on Kyler Jones. Or is that Adelung? It is Adelung. His 3rd, team 3rd.
Well, still with 2 minutes to go, you don't want to get in a full court game with Bridgeport. You want to slow it down now if you're Amherst. And again, you limit the turnovers and find quality shots, force Bridgeport to play defense that burns some clock.
Contact in the left wing. Hayes Watts holding on to the basketball. Shoved. No sign yet on who's guilty. It is Kyler Jones. That's a break for Amherst. Jones his 2nd foul. Adelung was in the area as well. Would have been his 4th. Watts, not that time. A ferocious Bridgeport defense, unable to force the turnover in the backcourt.
Pull-up jumper looked good. That was a big miss and a good rebound by Hadwiger. Now here we go. Now you're Amherst. You're pulling it out here and forcing Bridgeport to come out and foul you.
Logan Metz commits the foul, his third, and 2 shots coming for Hadwiger. Amherst going to try to limit the touches for everybody except for Hadwiger and Adelung. 72% shooter, Hadwiger, 80 for Adelung. And Hadwiger hits.
Gets that short roll. The shooter's roll hits the front of the rim and goes through.
$14 points. 7 of them at the free throw line for Tage Hadwiger. Bulldogs starting to run out of time. Quick trigger 3 for 9, and a good box out by the freshman Davis, who's fouled. Good foul there by Bridgeport. Put Davis at the line instead of Hadwiger or Adelung.
Well, Davis has got to get a pat on the back for the way he has performed. Not a guy that plays a lot, but he comes off the bench with the foul trouble, and he's on a nice ball game. Got a chance here to really make it tough for Bridgeport. Already up 8. And now you got a chance for a couple of free throws. Make a couple of these. It might be all but over.
Nothing but net for Gavin Davis, who is 9 for 17 at the line this year before that attempt. A 5-0 run for Amherst to try to put this one away. The timeout taken by Bridgeport. 57 seconds left on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. We'll keep it here. This Amherst team getting used to playing tough quarterfinals. My goodness, last year we had an all-timer on News Channel Nebraska, an overtime game against Norfolk Catholic. The Knights had the lead in under 20 seconds to play. Ended up losing the game to the Broncos in OT.
That was a fantastic game. That was one of the most intense games I think I've ever watched. You see Amherst the way they play, and it certainly Hadwiger, the way how intense he is. That game was that way from the opening tip through overtime. But those games, you know, with the kids that played in that game last year, you take a lot from those games and bring them here the next year.
This Bridgeport team, hopeful it's going to be a mainstay here in Lincoln, and why wouldn't you have those aspirations? Only 2 seniors out of the 9 players to see the court for Bridgeport. 4 of their starters, freshmen or sophomores.
Bridgeport will be back. This is a good basketball team, a young team, and they're going to learn a lot from this experience.
How about that finish? Logan Metz puts it back through. And another timeout by Bridgeport. Their final timeout will step aside with 52 seconds to play on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard.
Your life can change with one heartbeat, and that was mine. Pregnant at 16, scared, and wondering how my mother would react was terrifying. This is Selma. I made the right decision. I can't imagine if I would have ended this beautiful life. Your baby is a person that deserves their life and your love. Adelina has filled my life with tremendous joy. There are difficult times, it's a life changer, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. My faith is my strength. You are not alone. Call your local pastor to talk.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Amherst basketball leading by 7, trying to finish off the pesky 8-seed Bridgeport Bulldogs. And they turn it over out of the timeout. The shot misses for Bridgeport, and there is Hadwiger wrapping up that basketball, slapping it Well, probably a combination of frustration and relief. It has not come easy for this top seed here today. But that is foul number 5 on Metz. He is the third Bulldog to foul out, and it's starting to look good for Amherst.
Amherst in the driver's seat right now. That was a missed opportunity for Bridgeport, and that might really be it here if Hadwiger knocks down a couple free throws. I think if you look, Amherst, how did they win this game? Well, I think one of the ways was certainly on the boards. They've out-rebounded Bridgeport 32-19 up to this point. Hadwiger and Riesland both with 11 rebounds in this game. And of course, Hadwiger missed about half the game in foul trouble, so that's pretty impressive. But they've controlled the boards, especially here in the second half.
How about a double-double for Hadwiger, who barely played in the third quarter? He's up to 16 points, 7 at the line here in the second half. Last gasp for the team from the Panhandle, and Hayes Watts doesn't want it to be done yet. 2-possession game.
It's a good make. It's not over yet.
Foul called against Bridgeport. This is where that pressure defense really comes in handy.
Yeah.
Or was that a foul, or was it an out of bounds? No foul. Amherst will have to get it in against that swarming Bridgeport defense.
Well, Bridgeport needs a steal here and a transition bucket.
Hadwiger gets it across the timeline. He's trapped, and a timeout taken by Amherst. Coach Rippon has 3 timeouts, so no hesitation to use that one. Amherst up 6, hoping they've done enough to advance to the state semifinals. It'll be for the 3rd straight season. This is what it would look like. Amherst would advance to face the winner of Summerland Cross County. That game immediately following this one. And really no way to predict who's going to win that game.
Yeah, that's
2 wild cards.
2 really good teams playing well, like most teams here at state. I mean, they're playing well, but I think all of these games are going to be pretty much like this, where you're not going to have any blowouts. You're going to have games going into the 4th quarter before they're decided.
Well, looking forward to those afternoon games as well. Some Northeast Nebraska flair. Ponca, Norfolk Catholic in the 2 versus 7, and just like this 1 versus 8, the 2-7, if Norfolk Catholic might even be favored in that game as the 7 seed.
Norfolk Catholic has a big team, a big physical team. If they play well on the offensive end, they'll certainly have a chance against the outstanding Ponca ball club.
And the 3-6, the 3-seed Cedar Catholic out of Northeast Nebraska's Hardington, going against a Lincoln Lutheran team that might have played the toughest schedule in Class C2. Meanwhile, Amherst will get Adelung to the line, exactly what they want. The 80% shooter.
Yeah, I think that's what Coach Rippon was talking about in that timeout, is make sure not only you get the ball in, but get it to the free throw shooters. Only 16 seconds left, 6-point game. And Adelung makes the first free throw. You got your free throw shooter up there. This game now, as long as you don't do anything silly, foul 3-point shooter, something like that, you should win this thing.
Big free throws for Austin Adelung, who now has 20 game-high points. Back iron on the Bridgeport 3. They'll launch a game. But there's the buzzer, and the Amherst Broncos survive a test by the 8-seed Bridgeport Bulldogs. And for the 3rd straight season, a trip to the semifinals for Eric Rippon and the Amherst Broncos. They're trying to finish the job this year after finishing as runners-up in 2023. Bridgeport ends the season at 21-6, and what a great effort in this quarterfinal for them. The Broncos are 24-2, and we'll be chatting with the winning head coach and the player of the game next on NCN.
Start your next journey with Woodhouse. Our commitment extends beyond just selling cars. We offer an unparalleled car buying experience that allows you to shop and buy all online. Explore an array of new brands, makes, and models, as well as our large selection of pre-owned vehicles. And it's easy to get started today with our streamlined purchasing process online, granting you the freedom to secure your next vehicle anytime, anywhere. Discover a better way to buy with Woodhouse.
This is Amy from Magnolia's Home Decor and Design in downtown Norfolk.
And I'm Kate. Let's welcome in spring.
If you're ready for vibrant colors, silk florals that are remarkably real, and a new look for inspiring your space, come visit us at Magnolia's.
From spring to everyday designs for your home, we've been busy creating looks that will make your home warm and inviting for your friends and family.
Watch us live on Facebook 6 days a week. Stop in and see us in downtown Norfolk or visit us online at shopmagnoliasonline.com.
A new year, a fresh start, a resolution to grow more, gain more, give more. The process is the same: plant, grow, harvest. But the way you do it is always evolving. And so are we, Aurora Cooperative. Grow, gain, give. Aurora and you.
Back at the Bob Devaney Center here with the winning head coach, Eric Rippon. Coach, Bridgeport threw a lot at you defensively, a lot of varied looks. How were you able to adjust to what they were doing defensively and get into a rhythm offensively?
Yeah, you know, we weren't sure what they were going to do defensively. Obviously, we had the size advantage, we felt like, which doesn't happen often with our guards. So we were ready for all sorts of things. Triangle 2, we practiced against zones, man-to-man, but they get after it defensively and they use their ball pressure, so we were pretty sure they were probably going to go to man most of the game. And I thought our kids did a fairly good job. Not a great job, but a fairly good job, you know, against their pressure.
You had said coming in that you needed to be ready for a high-paced game from Bridgeport. They tried to get it up and down. How do you think you reacted to the pace of this game?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we like to get up and down the same with everyone, too. So early on, I thought we did a really good job of controlling the pace and play it what we want and get transition buckets. You know, but then we kind of got a little bit tired and they kind of pushed the pace, too. We had some foul trouble, but overall, I thought we had a lot of guys step up and finish the game at the pace we wanted to.
You mentioned the foul trouble. Austin was the guy hitting big shots for you when other guys were on the bench. Talk about his play today.
Yeah, you know, I mean, everyone thinks we're a Tage Hadwiger-led team, you know, and we are. The kid's phenomenal. But we got a kid right here that's an all-state player that I think he put a lot of people on notice that last year and the years before, he was kind of just a shooter. This year, he's really expanded our game, you know, and he's a great free throw shooter. We like to get the ball in his hands late. And when Tage was on the bench, I thought he did a heck of a job of stepping up and being the leader that we needed out there, you know, along with the other guys. But can't say enough about him. He doesn't get the credit the kid deserves, and hopefully, you know, we can open some eyes down here for him.
Well, we'll give him a little bit of credit right now. Coach, congrats on the win. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
Let's bring him in. Let's get him some credit. Austin Adelung, young man, nice game. How does it feel just to get this game? This was a tough one. How's it feel to get the win?
It just feels amazing to win this one and be able to go on to maybe make a run at the state championship.
What was Coach telling you? I know he called a couple of timeouts in the fourth quarter. Foul trouble. You didn't have Tage for a lot of it. What was Coach's message? What was he telling you guys?
We just need to be under control and control the ball.
What were the things that you've worked on in the offseason? I know Coach talked about you getting stronger. What have you done to round out your game here from last season to this season?
I've worked on a little bit of my inside game more, so I'm not just a three-point shooter, and I'm able to get to the rim a little bit more.
Awesome. Well, what's going to be the key, regardless of who you're playing? What does Amherst need to do to get a win, cut down the nets this year?
Just stay out of foul trouble. We were in a little bit of foul trouble this game, and really just everybody needs to step up and play their best game.
Excellent. Well, you played your best game today, Austin. Congrats on being a player of the game. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That's Austin Adelung, 20 points today. Let's see if he has to step up and be the leader again in the semifinals. Michael, Lou, let's send it back to you.
A little foul trouble. That might be a little understatement for Amherst.
Just a little bit.
Tage Hadwiger, 4 fouls, sat much of the game, but it doesn't matter because Amherst got the win. Let's see how they did it. Your top plays brought to you by Currency. Need financing for RVs, ATVs, or other expensive items? Currency is here to help. Visit GoCurrency.com today. Number 1, Amherst, the reigning state runners-up against the 8 seed Bridgeport. The Bulldogs out of the Nebraska Panhandle against Amherst of Buffalo County. And early on, it was Austin Adelung filling it up from range, the sharpshooter, knocking down the 3-ball. Tage Hadwiger says, I can do that too. After the shot fake, he sinks it. The top 2 scorers for the Broncos set the tone. A 15-3 start for Amherst, but here's the response. Colby Lucetto from long range. Bridgeport scores 9 in a row to make it a 1-point game. Second quarter action, and Bridgeport takes the lead. Again, they were down 12 in the first quarter, took the lead 20-19, and again at 24-21. Landon Dean loves it. The freshman had 8 points for Bridgeport. Halftime, it was a 2-point cushion for Amherst. Start of the third quarter, and there's Landon Dean again. He gets the basket plus the foul. And Broncos in foul trouble. Tage Hadwiger, 21 points a game, had 4 fouls. They needed Austin Adelung to step up, and that's exactly what he did from way downtown. Now off the bench, Zach Lucetto knocks down the 3-ball for Bridgeport, keeping it a 2-possession game for the entire third quarter. It's close, still in the fourth, and there's a steal and a basket for Nick Weibert. And Bridgeport in this ball game. 2-point contest. Carter Riesland extends the advantage for the Broncos, 2 of his 10 points. The senior played a good ball game, but it was Austin Adelung who rose to the occasion. Finishes at the rack there and finished with a game-high 20 points to send the Broncos to the semifinals for the 3rd straight season. Michael Shively, Lou Siefker, and Lou, if that's a sign of games to come, we're in for an excellent day.
Absolutely. Amherst was tested. I think Amherst has to take their hat off to Bridgeport. They gave them a heck of a ball game. That's what you want. You want to get tested out of the gate. And then certainly I think Bridgeport, they showed what they're made of, and that the future is really bright for Bridgeport. I expect them to be back here again next year. Amherst will play the winner
Of our next game in the state semifinals. That next game, it's number 4 Summerland, number 5 Cross County, and it's about to come your way next. So glad you could watch us for this first game. We're going to step aside for about 7 or 8 minutes here. But up next, we'll have the beginning of this contest in the state quarterfinals in Class C2. The number 4 Summerland Bobcats, the number 5 Cross County Cougars. On the way, you're watching News Channel Nebraska.